Last week, we started the type of credit facilities we have to offer to a customer. Then we came to the point where we need to discuss the trade business, right? That's the point we stopped. So we will start today with the trade business. This is the same handout which we used last week. We stopped here, right? Trade business can be divided into two sides, which is local trade and international trade. When you are doing buying and selling, basically it's buying and selling within a country, it is local trade. When your dealing is cross border, like from Sri Lanka to India or India to Colombo, it is international trade. When it is cross border, it is international. Local, it is within the country. Whether it is local trade or international trade, we need to find out few things. We need to find a supplier. We need to find a supplier who can give us the goods in the quality we want, quantity we want, price we want, and the delivery we want, right? So whether it is international trade or local trade, we need to find a customer who can match this. Firstly, we need to find a supplier, then pricing, quantity, quality, and delivery, right? That is the common thing between the two parties. The other thing is, we can't trust anyone on the other side, whether it is local or international, right? Therefore, we always, in a suspicious manner, will I get my money? Will I get my goods? That's the two things. Any exporter is thinking, will I get my money? Any importer thinks that, will I get my goods? So we have to bridge this gap. This gap will be bridged within or by introducing a reputed person like a bank intermediation on this, right? Therefore, the banks are coming into the trade transaction business purely to avoid this not the confusion, avoid the uncertainty on importers and exporters. Let us go to the handout. So in this today's lecture, we will be covering all these things: importer, exporter, and bonds. So this is what I was talking to you about trade, right? Then we will come to the relationships. Hope you can see the board clearly. Right? We have three types of relationships. Right? Unaffiliated, unknown. Secondly, we have unaffiliated, unknown. Affiliated. Right? These are the three kinds of relationships we can have. There is no relationship with the other party, cross-border, like we have India, we have Sri Lanka, right? This is the border. Okay. So we have New Delhi, Mr. Saravana Muthu, right? We have State Bank of India, this side. In Colombo, we have Mr. Pereira. We have Bank of Singapore, right? So this is the scenario. Mr. Pereira does not know Mr. Sarvaramuthu. They have not dealt earlier, unknown, no relationship between these two parties, and they have not dealt earlier, so unknown party. Right? So Mr. Pereira wants to buy basmati, right? Quantity 100,000 kilos. Grade A, price 200 rupees a kilo. Right? This is the requirement. So I find on the internet or trade links, this person is selling. Right? I'm the buyer and this is the seller. Unaffiliated, no relationship between these two people, and I have not dealt in the past. So, I need some sort of a contract. Then he will need a payment confirmation. Right? He will need a payment confirmation. So they do the business. After some time, they have dealt regularly. So we just need a contract. This side, unaffiliated, no relationship, but we know the people now. We need a contract for some sort of payment. Right? Some sort of payment confirmation. This is almost a payment guarantee. Right? Then Mr. Pereira is a partner with Sarvaram, affiliated. Right? Now they have dealt for several years. Now they have their own partnership in New Delhi and Colombo. So it is affiliated. No contract required, no payment guarantee required. Right? This is the type of transaction and relationships we will see in the market. Right? This is the type of transactions and relationships we will see in the market. So the goods comes in the ship or plane, whatever. Physical goods from New Delhi to the Sri Lankan border comes here. Sri Lankan customs comes here. But how does the ownership of this is the physical goods? How does the ownership of goods transfer in the international trade? It is through documents. Right? It is through documents. So the physical goods can come to the border But ownership will not come this way. It will come through different ways. So we are going to discuss the different ways which adapted to cater these three relationships. First one, unaffiliated, unknown. There we need a contract, we need a payment guarantee, right? So in this scenario, we use LC, letter of credit, right? We use LC for this scenario. Letter of credit is a payment confirmation, conditional payment confirmation from a bank. Letter of credit is a conditional payment confirmation from a bank, right? What does Mr. Sarvanamuthu want? He wants his money first before he ships the goods. He's an exporter. I would like, if I am an exporter, I would like to take my money before giving out the goods. Why? It will avoid my credit risk. Will I get my money? That is the credit risk. That will then at Mr. Pereira's level, importer's level, what is the requirement? Please send me the goods, I will send you the money. Why? I'm not sure about delivery. Right? In order to avoid this, a bank comes in. So LC will solve that problem. Will I get my money? Will I get my goods? Right? Sarvanamuthu will get LC, letter of credit from a reputed bank saying, so what happens? Mr. Pereira comes to Bank of Ceylon. He will give us the invoice between these two. Based on the request of Mr. Pereira, we write to our correspondent bank, State Bank of India, and say, please tell Mr. Sarvanamuthu that Mr. Pereira in Sri Lanka would like to buy these goods. Ship the goods to Sri Lanka and provide us the following documents: commercial invoice, bill of lading, commercial invoice, bill of lading, quality certificates, origination certificates, like that, several, whatever the document Mr. Pereira wants. Right? So we will confirm the price, currency, date, everything Bank of Ceylon will confirm. You send the goods to Colombo and submit these documents on or before this date. We will undertake to pay. That is the conditional guarantee from the bank. If you provide us the documents, we will give you money. However, if documents are different, when the documents comes in, if there is any difference, we call discrepancy. If there are discrepancies on the LC application document and the original set of documents, what we will do, we are not bound to pay. Right? If the documents are defective, bank is not bound to pay. What we do, we will ask Mr. Pereira we have received the documents. There are differences in what we ask and what they have sent. Are you okay to take the discrepancy? If he says yes, we will say okay, discrepancy is accepted. Here is the money. We will send the money. However, bank does not take any responsibility on the goods. Bank will not take any responsibility on the goods. Instead of basmati, if Sarvanamuthu has sent cow dung, still we have to pay if the documents are in order. Right? LC is a conditional guarantee that we will honor the payment, we will pay you subject to sending the goods and providing these documents to the bank. Right? It is a conditional guarantee. Bank does not deal with the quality of the goods or the type of goods inside the container. We deal with only the documents. Right? So the relationship between the bank, you can see this part. Bank, issuing bank, BOC we say, importer, and the exporter. This is the LC application. The relationship between these two parties are controlled by the LC application. Relationship between the importer and the exporter is controlled by the contract, which is the invoice or sales contract. Then the issuing bank, LC issuing bank, and the exporter is dealt through LC. Right? So the relationship between these three parties are controlled by LC application, sales contract, and the letter of credit. Right? So what happens next is, now we have established the LC like this. State Bank of India will deliver the LC to Mr. Sarvanamuthu, asking him to ship the goods and providing documents. He will ship the goods. Goods will come to the Sri Lankan customs border. Then the documents will be handed over to State Bank of India. Then they will send that document to BOC. BOC will check the documents, check for discrepancies. If there is no discrepancy, we will send the money back. Money to the cash document. This is LC. Right? We will send the cash. Then we will release the documents to Mr. Pereira. Mr. Pereira has an unconditional obligation to pay the bank. Unconditional obligation. Right? Once we release the documents and pay the money, Mr. Pereira can't come and say this and that. He has to pay the bank. Whether he gets the required goods or not, that is not our problem. He has to pay the bank. So the documents which comes through the bank to bank is called original document. right? Bank to bank documents are called original documents, right? Then bill of lading, which is the document which guarantees that goods had been onboarded the vessel by the shipping agent company, right? Bill of lading, that is the document which tells us goods are onboarded to the vessel, right? So these other things are different. So we have this. Now money has gone. So when it comes to LCs, we have two types: site and user, right? What I discussed here is the site LCs. That means as soon as the documents comes in, we check the documents, and if the documents are in order, we send goods. That is site LC. Similarly, Mr. Saravanamuthu gives 60-day credit to Mr. Pereira. Right? Then documents will come to Bank of Ceylon. Bank of Ceylon will inform Mr. Pereira there is a set of documents through ULC came in and there is a credit period. Please come and sign the bill of exchange. Right? You have received a credit period, so sign the bill of exchange, which is the agreement to pay on the future date. Right? Sign the agreement and take the goods. Because now take the documents. Goods are here. Documents has come, which is the ownership. Right? The ownership to the goods comes through the documents. So bank to bank, original documents has come. So Mr. Pereira can sign the bill of exchange and take out the documents. So he can go to customs and take out the goods. On the 60th day, bank will not wait till Mr. Pereira pays us. On the 60th day, we will remit the money to State Bank of India to give to Mr. Saravanamuthu. Then subsequently, we will ask Mr. Pereira to pay. Whether he is paying or not does not relate to the payment from bank to bank. Right? Then when the LC is opened by Mr. Pereira, at his will, he can't cancel. We need to have the agreement from Mr. Saravanamuthu also to cancel or amend the LC. Without that, we can't cancel. It is a irrevocable LC. Right? You can't cancel. At one party's will. You need to have the other party's will. Right? Site LC is when documents reach, we will pay. User, there is a credit period, but at the end of the credit period, bank remit the money. So under this category, there is a liability on the bank to pay if the documents are in order. That's why I told you it is a conditional guarantee from the bank. If the documents are in order, we will pay. Right? That is a conditional guarantee. I told you about original documents. Then we have another thing. Sometimes ship comes earlier. There is a delay in getting the documents from bank to bank. But the shipping agent can issue a copy document, copy set of documents. We say copy document. Right? That is, Still, bank has not received the original document, but the shipping agent will give you another set of documents, right? So then we call copy documents. Okay. In that scenario, we can't get the custom to clear the goods with a copy document. So bank need to issue a guarantee called shipping guarantee to the shipping agent. We allow the bank, allow the shipping agent to release the goods from customs to the customer, even though we have not received the original documents. Right? It is a risky thing. Why? Because if the original documents differ from the set we saw, we have an issue. We have released the goods. Then we are committed to pay the exporter. Right? Therefore, giving a shipping guarantee is risky because we are giving away our ownership, bank's ownership to the goods. Goods are consigned to the bank. Right? So we are allowing the shipping agent without looking at the original document to send. Right? Therefore, shipping guarantee is risky. Therefore, normally we take 300% security when we are issuing a shipping guarantee. We issue shipping guarantees to the shipping agent. You release the goods. Right? Shipping guarantees issued only when original documents did not reach us on time. So that is letter of credit. Do you have any questions on letter of credit? Any questions? Yes, no, clear? Can I see some answers, please? What's happening? No one is there. What? Oh, sorry. Some answers? Text box is open. You can say yes or no, clear, whatever you want. Or you can type a question if you want. I got one answer. What about others? I have 17 people in the class. Two. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I have a question. If there is any discrepancy, what would be the procedure? That's what I told. If there is a discrepancy, we will inform Mr. Pereira. Right? If he agrees, we will honor. If he does not agree, we can't pay. We have to return the document. Is it clear? Aruna? Right. Any other questions before I go to the other part? Right. So since no questions, I'm going to the other part. Right? Now we come to, now these two have been dealing with among them for several times. Now they know how they, what kind of products they send, how they send, quality, quantity, pricing, delivery. They know each other, but still there is a mistrust, right? So they want a contract and they want some sort of a payment confirmation. Then we go to, in that kind of a scenario, we go to documentary collection, right? This is a different. Under this scenario, bank has a liability, right? Bank has a liability. Now it is documentary collection. It is unaffiliated, but both parties know each other. They are dealt with, right? Now what happens? Goods comes in the similar way, right? We don't have this one then. We don't have an LC here. So we go out with this. Right? There is no LC. Okay. There is no Mr. Pereira's requirement. Now what happens is Saravana Muthu sends goods to Sri Lanka and he gives documents to State Bank of India to send it to DOC. We have two types, which is DE and DA. There will be a document set received by DOC to be given to Mr. Pereira. But document should be released only upon payment, right? We will DP, documents on payment. We will call Mr. Pereira and inform him that there is a set of documents for you. You can collect it, but you need to pay. If Mr. Pereira pays us cash, right, or whatever, pay, then we will send the money. We will release the document and we will send the money, right? Cash paid, cash will be routed to Mr. Saravana Muthu and we will release the document. He can go to custom, right? Now we can go to customs and get the goods cleared. So that is document on payment. Because bank does not have any responsibility here. If the customer pays, we will send the money. Otherwise, we are not going to release the documents to Mr. Pereira. We will send the documents after several reminders. If he is not taking the documents, we will send the document to Saravana Muthu. So since Saravana Muthu has the original documents, he can get the ship transferred to someone else. Right? That is documents on payment. Similar to the previous instance, where Saravana Muthu gave a 60-day credit to Mr. Pereira, and the documentary collection also he can give a credit period. Then it is documents on acceptance. Right? Bank of Ceylon, we call Mr. Pereira and say there is a set of documents. They have given you 60 days credit. Please come and sign the bill of exchange. That is the agreement to pay and take out the goods. That time he will not pay the money, but we will give the document subject to signing the bill of exchange. On the 60th day, we will remind Mr. Pereira that you have to pay the bank, since we have to send the money to the State Bank of India, right? You have to pay this bill of exchange, right? If he pays money, we will send money. If he does not pay, we will remind him, but even after continuous reminders, if he does not pay, we will tell Mr. Sarvadamuttu that he is not paying. Sorry, we can't do anything, right? That is documents on acceptance. Under this, bank does not have payment liability, right? Payment liability. Document recollection, we are just a post box. We issue the document. If we get money on DP, DA, only if he pays, we will send the money, right? We are not dealing with anything. We are just acting as a post box. Now, we have two things. Here, under DA and DP also, sometimes documents get delayed. So, we go for shipping guarantees under DA and DP, right? If we issue goods, if we issue a shipping guarantee and release the goods, bank will be liable to pay, right? If we release the goods using a shipping guarantee instead of the original document, under documentary collection also, bank will be liable to pay, right? So we have to be very careful when we are talking about DA, DP, because there is no contract between the customer and the bank like LCs. LC is a irrevocable contract. Bank needs to get money from the customer. Here, there is no contract. We have just act as a post box, right? There is no relationship between the customer and myself. Document set came, I took some money, fees, and release. Then, when we issue a shipping guarantee, we will get liable. In general case, we are not liable. Then we have another term under document collection, avalization. Avalization means when the DA documents come in, bank on behalf of Mr. Pereira confirm to Sarvadamuttu that even if Mr. Pereira does not pay, we will pay. Payment guarantee. It is a payment guarantee, right? Then it is almost like a LC. It is a bank payment guarantee. We guarantee the payment before the due date and we issue the document. So that is DA and DP. Normal scenario, we don't guarantee the payment, right? We just act as a post box. If the customer pay, we will send money. DP, documents will be released only upon receiving cash. DA, we will release the documents only upon signing the bill of exchange. We present the bill of exchange to the customer. If the customer pays, we will send money. Otherwise, we will say, sorry, he is not paying, right? However, though we don't have a payment or monetary liability here, we have a reputational risk. If all our documents are not being paid, foreign bank can always say, it is a useless bank, don't send documents. That's a reputation risk for a bank. Then, therefore, we have to be careful when handling DA bills. We handle DA bills only for known trusted customers. Walking, we don't handle DA. DP, we can handle walking. Right? That is the second one. Any questions on that? Any questions? Hurry up, 45 minutes gone. No questions? Clear, not clear? Questions, anything? One answer. What happened to all others? Why is this? Huh? Right, I am moving to the other since you are not giving any answers to me. Right? Hope you are there at least. Right? So third one is affiliated company. They are joined, known people. Right? So in that scenario, bank does not have anything to do with. Right? Nothing. Bank does not have anything to do with. Goods will come here. All these things goes out. Come to that point. All these things will be different. Right? In that case, goods will come to Sri Lanka. Documents will come directly to Mr. Pereira. He can go to customs and get the goods cleared. Right? Can go to customs and get the goods cleared. When he wants to send money, he will come to BOC, cash, then BOC will send cash to this. OTT, right? Outward telegraphic transfer. So bank involvement is only to transfer the money. Goods will come separately, documents will come separately, and Mr. Pereira can go to customs and get it clear. Cash payment, only bank will get involved. That is called open account. It is very risky to the exporter, but nowadays it is very popular. Right? These are the three types of documents. Then we have another thing, right? Under this, we'll direct DA, direct DP, direct DA, right? That means under this, right? Documents, instead of sending to the bank send directly to Mr. Pereira. Mistakenly, bank send directly to Mr. Pereira. So in that scenario, the BOC has to be very careful. Even you know Mr. Pereira very well, only we will release those documents, countersign the document. Otherwise, we have an issue. Direct DA, bank to the customer directly. We see this very frequently. This mistake is happening very frequently nowadays. Right? Right. I have a question. If the importer does not pay under DPDA, will the exporter find a local buyer or can it be re-exported? Yes. If the DA-DP bill is not released, it is especially the DP. DA is when the documents comes in, we release, right? Even Mr. Pereira does not come to take even the DP bill. Saravaramuthu can sell it to someone else, ask the bank to transfer that documents to this person. That can be done, right? Or Saravaramuthu can ask the documents back and get the goods to Maldives instead of Sri Lanka, or get it back to India. Anything is possible because still documents has not gone to the customer. It is the third party, the bank. It is possible. Further, everyone knows the current dollar situation in the country. Today, one bank will have dollars, another bank does not have dollars. So, Mr. Saravaramuthu can send a message to Bank of Ceylon saying, transfer the documents to People's Bank, transfer the document to Sampath Bank. Then we will transfer those documents. So, you can get the payment from that bank. Right? Did I answer you, Aruna? Did I answer you? Okay. Right. Any questions on this international trade part? Any questions? Okay, since you are not answering or telling anything, okay, I have a question. Responsibility of checking accuracy of documents is always done by the bank side. Yes, accuracy checking is bank's issue, right? That accuracy checking has to happen specifically on the LC, but when it comes to documentary collection also, you have to check the accuracy. Instead of, if we release a DP document thinking DA, we have an issue, right? You can't mix the DA and DP. It is the pure responsibility of the bank. Bank deals only with documents. Did I answer you, Kasun? Dasun. Okay. Any other questions? Can I go to the handout now? Okay, I'm going to the handout. Now, all what I discuss is here, right? Unaffiliated, unknown, affiliated, known, affiliated. This is what I drew starting. Then this is what I discussed, importer's preference and the exporter's preference, right? Trade dilemma. This is how the bank LC is happening. So in order to solve the trade issue, this system has developed to avoid the risk of non-completion, foreign exchange risk, and to provide a means of financing. Because when LC is open, we receive LC, we can present it to the bank and take money. This is the triangle relationship I showed you. So a letter of credit is bank's conditional promise to pay issued by a bank at the request of an importer, in which the bank promised to pay an exporter upon presentation of documents specified in the LC. We deal only with LCs. Then we have this must contain specific maturity date. There is a specific, you have to ship ship goods before this date. and present the documents before this date. There is a specific maturity date. If you present after the maturity date, we don't accept. LC terms: promise the payment issued by the importer's bank, bind the importer's bank to pay. Currency of payment: USD, yuan, Australian dollars, whatever. Timing of payment: yes, within 3 days, T+2 for T+10 for site LCs. Like that, we have a timing. Amount of payment, it is given in the LC, plus and minus. Bind the exporter to deliver a certain product. Quantity, quality, delivery date. Because we need a quality certificate, we need the quantity verification, we need the delivery date. Advantages to exporters: reduce the credit risk. Will I get my money? That risk we will avoid since the bank is issuing. Then the political risk. Bank is embedded in the political system of a country. Reduce the pre-shipment risk. We have a contract term. When the LC received, exporter will know, if I send these goods and these documents, I am sure to get my money, right? We have a contract. Advantages to importer: reduce the delivery risk, right? Contract stipulate the delivery terms. We need the quantity, quality, delivery dates, everything is stipulated in the LC. Then importer can negotiate for better pricing. Why? Exporter has a reduced risk when it is a LC, right? Shipping guarantee, what I discussed earlier. Then I discussed this one, custom duty guarantee. Custom duty guarantee is when we import something to a country, normally we charge duty, import duty, right? So when we import goods to do value add or as a part of export, right, we don't pay duty at the import level, right? Therefore, in order to release the goods, bank needs to give a guarantee to the customs that saying my customer will export all the goods imported. If he does not export the goods, we will honor the duty payment. That is the custom duty guarantee. So imports for exports does not pay duty, but bank need to guarantee the custom. If he does not export, we will pay the duty, right? That is the product. Then we will look at right? Now we will look at, okay, importer needs two things. Firstly, LC line, that is to open LCs. Then once the LC is once the goods received and documents released and the payment done, we need a finance line. Right? We need two things. Firstly, we need to establish LCs. Once the LC, we receive the documents, we have to make the payment. The customer may not have money to pay at the immediate time. So he will need support from the bank. So we call finance line as post import finance. Different banks use different terminology for this finance line, right? So it is a short-term facility given to the customer to settle the LC. Using short-term facility, we can send the money to the exporter and the bank will give some time for the importer to settle the bank. Firstly, we will see how we are going to calculate the LC requirement of a customer, right? It's like this. We say, we open the LC for purchase order. Then there will be an order processing time as Mr. Saravana Muthu said, exporters then. Then there will be a voyage time. From New Delhi to Colombo, there will be another time period. Once the goods release, there will be another time. We hold goods in our stock, we manufacture, we sell, debtors and all those things. We have working capital cycle. Working capital cycle. I think we didn't do working capital cycle yet. So we say there is another time period. Right? So what we do, we say order processing time is 30 days. Voyage time is 30 days. Working capital cycle is 90 days. We'll make it basic. 120 days. Right? From the time LC open till we get the money from the customer, total is 180 days. Right? So we have to find out how much, what is the limit should be given to this customer. Okay. How do we do that? We say cost of goods sold or direct cost of a P&L for a year is 360 days. Right? So we divide that by 360 because number of days multiplied by this 180 days. So it is 180 million rupees. Right? We need, for this customer, we need to give 180 million rupee LC line. He should be able to open LCs for 180 million for any given time. Right? Then we need to find out the post-import finance. Similarly, what we do, 360 divided by 360 into working capital cycle 120, which is the working capital cycle. So it is 120. If we give a facility of 180 million and give a post-import line of 120, this business should be able to carried out smoothly. This is how we calculate. Since I have not taught you this part, we have to wait for that. But when we calculate, you need to know the order processing time, we need to know the voyage time, we need to know the working capital cycle in order to calculate this. Right? So this is import lines. Post-import finance, it can be a short-term facility, or there is another product called TR, trust receipt loan. Under TR, what happens is goods are consigned to the bank. Goods are consigned to the bank, and bank gives the goods to the customer on trust to sell and settle the bank. Then if the customer does not settle, it is going to be a breach of contract. Right? Breach of trust is a criminal offense in the country. Therefore, trust receipt loan is a criminal offense if breached. Right? So currently, all banks are using only short-term loans due to operational difficulties on TR. Right? This is trust receipt loans governed by Trust Receipt Ordinance 12 of 147 and Act number 13 of 1990. Then the other part of trade finance is export finance. This is the Saravanamuthu's side. He get a purchase order or LC to send basmati to Sri Lanka. So we say we are in Sri Lanka now. I am a cinnamon exporter. I get an order from Spain to send 2 containers of cinnamon. I don't have money for that. I have a confirmed purchase order. Then what we do, we go to a bank and get a packing credit line. Under that is the pre-shipment finance. That means we need to purchase, do whatever the processing and pack and keep the goods ready for export. To finance this part, purchasing, processing and packing, we use a packing credit. It is a short-term facility, right? So based on the purchase order, we give initial amount. The amount we grant depends on the amount we grant from a purchase order depends on the contribution or gross profit margin of the company, right? If the gross profit margin is 60%, we give only 60% of the purchase order. That is to manufacture or purchase, manufacture and pack and keep ready for the export. Once the export happens, once the goods are shipped, we will get export documents, right? When we get the export documents, we will discount. We call that post-export finance or e-bill discounting. We will discount the e-bill, export bill up to the net profit margin. If the net profit margin is 10%, we will discount up to 90% of the bill value, and we will settle the previous packing credit line. We will settle the amount we give, and the interest related to that amount we will settle. The balance money will be given to the customer, but we will not collect our interest and fees for the e-bill. Once the remittance comes in from Spain, we will collect the entire amount and fees and interest for the e-bill financing. Right? Give me 1 minute. Right? This is the exporter credit. So pre-shipment, before sending the goods, we have to do the purchasing, processing and packing. The product we use is pre-shipment financing or packing credit line. Then once the goods are exported, we give a product called post-shipment or e-bill discounting. Right. Any questions on trade now? Because I'm finished with trade business. So if you have any, I will spend 1 or 2 minutes. If you have any questions, I can answer you. Otherwise, I will be going to the other topic. If no questions, please let me know at least no questions. Then I don't have to wait. Because you need these things for day-to-day operations. When an importer comes in, you need to speak to him in this line. Otherwise, you will lose business. Who answered? What about others? Always the same people answers. Huh? Right. Then I will go to bank guarantees. Can I know whether the institute has uploaded these documents today? This is last week document. You should have this document by now. Okay, right? We are talking about bank guarantees now. We have two types of guarantees. What is a guarantee? Guarantee is a contingent liability for the bank. It is an off-balance sheet, non-funded facility. We take a responsibility on behalf of a customer that if the customer does not honor a promise, we will discharge the customer by paying or honoring the promise. Right? That is a bank. It is bank guarantee is always unconditional. When the bank guarantee is claimed, we can't say that we can't pay. Right? We have three parties here. Again, we have the bank, guarantor. Then we have customer, applicant. Then we have the person whom we are guaranteeing, we call them beneficiary, right? He is the only one who can claim the guarantee, right? This is an unconditional bank guarantee, the application. Unconditional obligation to pay by the customer. This is the business contract, right? First type of guarantee is trading bank guarantees, that is credit purchasers. We give customers bank guarantees to cover the credit purchasers. If I am a DSI dealer, in order to enjoy credit from DSI, we need to provide a bank guarantee, right? That is credit related. The bank inform DSI, please provide goods on credit. If he does not pay, we will pay. That is the bank guarantee. They are trading bank guarantee. So in the balance sheet, current liabilities creditors amount is reflected by bank guarantees if it is backed by bank guarantees. Whenever we are increasing the bank guarantee limit, means creditors will go up, right? There is a relationship between the bank guarantees and creditors in the current liability section, right? That is the trading bank guarantee. Now what we are going to discuss is construction or contract bank guarantees. It can be for the construction industry, or it can be for any contract, not for trading, but for any contract supplies, right? I will take the example of a road, right? You need to construct a road from Colombo to Kandy. One 8 kilometers, right? We have 3 bridges. Road width should be 20 meters, right? Thickness should be 3 feet, right? This is a small example of a road. Is it true? Just hold on. Last week when I was in the class, they uploaded something. Samin says it is uploaded. Marisha, Aruna. හරිද මේ documents මේ upload කරලා තියෙන class එක ගිය සුමාන class එක මේ සමහර අය නැහැ කියනවා කොහෙද මේ documents ඒගොල්ලන්ට ගන්න තියෙන්නේ Google Classroom you can find the documents under Google Classroom and again under classwork adek upload කරලා තියෙනවා right institute confirm that they have uploaded everything please check right all right okay and make denna right you can write down this number Kavindra's number he can be contacted on 074 016 6122 07401666122 Kavindra he is your coordinator basically for this course you can contact him if you don't have any documents because I have specifically asked them to upload all the documents before the class right so if you can't find you call them but it is in the Google Classroom under classwork right okay thank you right so this is the contract we have to do UDA Urban Development Authority will advertise this will call for tenders or bids right from the qualified contractor let us know your willingness and the capability to do this kind of a project so there will be 100 200 contractors who are interested of doing this so they can say okay one will say I need 500 million one will say I need 498 million one will say I need 501 million to do this all as per the specification given like that everyone can put a tender or bid okay so the UDA will have a technical committee they will go through all bids and select few basically they will select one right once they select ABC right they will tell ABC you have been selected please come and sign the contract ABC does not turn up what will happen UDA has spent lot of time selecting people so it is a waste of time so they need some sort of a compensation so always with a tender we need to give a bank guarantee bank has to confirm if my customer is selected he will accept the contract otherwise we will pay you a compensation normally 1 to 3% we call it a bid bond out of this 500 million this kind of a percentage right 3% so initial bond is called bid bond right secondly once the bidder is selected and he can sign the contract he needs some money to start the operation then UDA will give a advance normally 20%. So there has to be a guarantee from a bank saying my customer will work for this advance. That kind of a guarantee is called advance payment guarantee. Advance payment guarantee. We confirm right? Advance payment guarantee. We are guaranteeing the customer will work for the advance, right? Normally, advance payment guarantees are effective only when the money comes into the bank's account. If they don't give advance, that guarantee is not valid. So money should come in. So we can over the counter issue advance payment guarantee, assuming that money has to come to my account, then only it is valid. And that is advance payment guarantee. Then you need another guarantee from a bank called performance guarantee. That is, bank has to give a guarantee, some sort of a compensation, normally to 10 to 15% of the contract value, saying my customer will build the road as per your specification. With this is not 19.9, it is 23 feet, it is not 2.8, it is 3 feet, 3 bridges, it is not 117.8, it is 18. Like that specification. My customer will do the construction based on your specification. If not, we will give you a compensation of 10 to 15% of the contract value. That is called performance bond. Right? That is a performance bond. Then, so they will construct some 50 kilometers. And first bill will be presented to UDA. We say it is a 100 million bill. Right? So we have given 100, if it is a 500 million project, 20% of 500 million is 100 million. Right? So advance payment guarantee has to be 100 million. Okay. Then when the first bill goes in, UDA will deduct 20% for the advance payment because they have given advance. Therefore, they will deduct 20%. So it is 80 million. Then they will deduct another thing called retention money. It is normally 5%. Right? So it is, sorry. $5 million. Right? So it is 75. When we claim for 100 million, they will get 75 million because there is a retention money they keep. Normally it is 5%. What is this retention money? Once the road is completed, there can be some workmanship defects. In order to compensate that, they are holding some money, right? So if the customer wants that money back, they can give a retention guarantee. Retention guarantee to the value of the entire amount and take out money. That money can be taken at the end of the construction, right? That is called retention guarantee. Then when the work is completely finished, if there is a maintenance period, this performance guarantee will convert to maintenance guarantee, right? So we start with the bid bond, then we have advance payment bonds, then we have performance guarantee, then we have retention guarantee, and the performance will convert to a maintenance guarantee. These are the type of guarantees we come across in all tender related businesses. It can be construction business or it can be supplies business. Like if you want to supply goods to computers to some institution. So they will start with a tender, they will go for advance payment, they will go for performance, they will go for retention, and they will go for maintenance. So these are the trade related guarantees on construction and supplies. Right? Any questions on that? Okay. Thank you, Marisha. Right, this is the guarantee types, what I discussed. Bid bonds, advance payment, performance bonds, retention guarantee, and the maintenance guarantee. Then we will go to asset-based financing. This is basically like asset-based financing. We are talking about commercial funding. It is basically leases, right? There are two types of leases. Firstly, finance lease. Secondly, operational lease. The lease, every one of us knows, is a financial lease. Customer select a vehicle or machine from a manufacturer or supplier, and the banks pay money to buy that vehicle, right? Bank is purchasing that vehicle on behalf of the customer, and the vehicle or the machine is in the name of the bank. We have the absolute ownership, right? And the customer is allowed to use the vehicle for a specific period of time by paying monthly or quarterly as agreed rental. We are giving the vehicle is selected by the customer. We have purchased and we have given the vehicle back to the customer to use by paying the agreed amount over an agreed period of time, right? By this agreed payments, bank will recover all the capital, the money we spend in buying the machine or the vehicle, and the interest for this money. So we will recover all the cost incurred by the bank. Money, the capital, as well as the interest earnings, right, by the end of the period. So financial leases are called fully pay out leases, right? If we give a vehicle on lease, we say you have to pay 25,000 a month for 60 months. By end of the 60th month, we have recovered all the money we have spent to purchase the vehicle and the interest for the money we have invested. So it is a fully payout lease. Financial lease is a fully payout lease. At the end of the period, we transfer the ownership, absolute ownership to the customer at a very nominal fee, even a rupee, we transfer it. Or he can release it for another period. But it is for a specific period. It is a payout. It is fully recovery of entire cost. Ownership, absolute ownership is with the bank, lessor. Lessee, the customer, has the registered ownership, ability to use only. The maintenance of the vehicle or the machine is the sole responsibility of the lessee, not the lessor, not the bank. Lessee is the customer. Maintenance, insurance, licensing, everything is the responsibility of the lessee. So financial leases are fully payout leases. Lessee, the customer, needs to select the vehicle on behalf of the customer or the lessee. Lessor or the bank pay the money and purchase the vehicle and hold the absolute ownership till the end of the period. Right? At the end of the period, we transfer the ownership. That is financial lease or fully payout lease. That is what we know day to day. Right? Then we come to operational leases. Operational leases are lessor, the bank, select a vehicle, pay for that vehicle and give it to a customer. Bank select the vehicle, bank pay for the vehicle, but we give it to a customer to use by paying a monthly rental. Customer will not have any ownership. It is only a renting out type. So maintenance of the vehicle is a problem of the lessor, the bank. Lessee, the user, does not have any obligation to maintain unless otherwise stipulated in a contract. Right? At the end of the period, bank will not may or may not be recovering entire cost. So it is not a fully payout lease, because after the agreed period, we will give it to someone else. Maintenance is lessor's problem. Lessee can always come and say, I don't want the vehicle, cancel the lease. But in financial leases, lessee can't come and say, I want to cancel the lease. If he wants to cancel lease, he has to pay a compensation. Operation lease, without a compensation, they can cancel, because we did not purchase the vehicle specifically for this person, lessee. We purchasing decision was our decision. We have just given them to use. That is asset-based financing or leases. These are definitions. If the customer default at the time we have the absolute ownership, we can go and repossess the vehicle. We don't need to go to courts to repossess, right? It is our vehicle, we have given them to use. This operating leases. Here tax allowance is at the lessor's end, bank's books. Customer can deduct the entire lease rental as a cost in their books. This is the comparison. Lessee can claim depreciation. Lessor can't claim depreciation. Lessor can get only interest. This is the accounting. That's fine, but then we come to hire purchases. These days we don't do hire purchases. When there was no VAT for registered vehicles, we used to have hire purchases because VAT is not applicable for hire purchasing. That is also similar to lease. We have the absolute ownership. Customer is allowed to pay a rental and use the vehicle or the machine, but they can't cancel. The difference between financial lease and hire purchase is when the customer settles 75% of the rentals, absolute ownership will not be available for the lessor. Then it is like a mortgage. If you want to repossess, you need to go to courts and take the vehicle, right? That is hire purchase. It is governed under Consumer Credit Act of Sri Lanka. Then other financial types, mainly loan syndication. Loan syndication is, it is for larger projects where we say we need to build a factory for 3-4 billion rupees. So single bank does not want to put that kind of money. What happens is when the customer comes to a bank, they will evaluate basic evaluation, and we will arrange some other banks also to come together and finance the project. So we will have syndicate of banks, several banks coming together to finance a single project. So there will be a arranger, loan arranger, that is the initial bank, who will do the initial evaluation and discuss with other banks, arrange them to finance. We say we need 2 billion. Bank of Ceylon will say 500 million. NDB will say 300 million. People's Bank will say 500 million. Like that, all the banks come together to finance. So all the banks will have same equal rights over the project, depending on the capital they have invested. But all the project assets will be, there will be one offer letter, all the banks will sign, and customer will sign, and there will be primary concurrent mortgage over all the project assets. But different banks will not try to recover independently. One bank is responsible for recoveries. When the recoveries comes in, we will pay. That bank is responsible to distribute among the banks. That recovery distribution is based on the capital invested by the banks. If I can't recover everything, if I recover only 50% of the monthly rental, based on the investment by different banks, that whatever the money received will be distributed. If this loan goes bad, that hit also distributed based on the amount we invested, right? So everyone in par. So this arranger will charge a nominal fee, maybe 1% to 2% fee for arranging this and coordinating this. So this kind of banks coming together for financing a larger project is called loan syndication. Then we come to project loans. Project loans are, we fund projects based on future projected cash flows rather than looking at the sponsors and the wealth of the sponsors. Like we are going to do a hydro power project. Phoenix and Haley's are investing in this project. We will be evaluating the project based on the number of units they can produce, based on the rainfalls and the number of units and the agreement to purchase the power. Not based on whether Haley's will pay or Phoenix will pay, Bendix will pay. It is purely on the merits of the project. So that kind of a facility where funding is based on the future projected cash flows, we call a project loan. Details are here. Then microcredit. Microcredit, we have microfinance and microcredit. Microcredit is granting loans. Microfinance is loans, savings, and insurance together, right? Normally, microcredit happens with group loans. We get groups created, we get 3 people together as a group, and each one will guarantee the other one, right? It is like a triangle. One person will be guaranteed by 2 people, right? That's why we get 3 people together. This kind of a guarantee is called inter-C guarantee. Last line, inter-C guarantee. We guarantee each other. If one defaulted, other 2 are liable to pay. Otherwise, they will also not get future loans, right? That is microfinance. We are giving smaller loans to the grassroots level. Getting a group and inter-C guarantee is the key. Microcredit is only giving loans. Microfinance is giving loans, savings, and insurance together, right? This is details you can go through, which I discussed earlier. Term loans and what kind of guarantees we have. Then short term, then asset-based financing, leasing, hire purchase, then import lines we talk about, UCP, that is the LC governance policies, and URC, Uniform Rules for Collection, that is for DADP. It's a detailed thing, you can go through this, right? Okay, I'm done for the day. Any questions? I see a question. Sir, why do we pay stamp duty for dual purpose vehicle? It is a gazetted requirement. It has nothing to do with banks, right? Because dual purpose vehicles are for passenger transport and those things. Commercial vehicles are for the business purpose, pure business purpose. So we encourage investment for business purpose. So our GDP and all those things increases, jobs increases. So government want to encourage the investment towards businesses and the manufacturing sector, manufacturing trading sector. Whereas when it is coming to dual purpose or personal views, there is no value addition, right? That's why. It is nothing to do with the banks, it is the government policy. Shamindri, did I answer your question? Okay. Any other questions, please? We are done with all the products. So next week we will do the today's handout, which is the security part, right? Type of security. If no questions, thank you very much. And I will be here for 1 or 2 minutes. You can ask me questions if you want.